What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe to the channel. And of course, hit the notification bell. Make sure you remain subscribed to the channel. And I always call you guys' attention to the fact that I have a super thanks feature on all of my videos. If you want to contribute to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, guys, let's get into this story involving one Mr. Ishmael Cruz Cordova. You guys know that he plays an elf of color on Amazon Prime's Rings of Power. Now, Ishmael, Mr. Cordova, to you, if you're nasty, says that this is just the beginning as far as representation goes on this show. He's just getting started, and he wants you to know that there's a lot more room for representation on this show as he has opened up the doors to the masses. He's like Moses freeing the people. All right, so let's get into what this article says right here, and I'll tell you my views on this. As I said before, this is on Variety.com. I'll leave that link in the pinned comment below. All right, the headline says, Ishmael Cruz Cordova absolutely wants more representation, specifically in the Rings of Power. And he says, we would be remiss not to do that. It goes on to say, after making history as the first person of color to portray an elf in the Lord of the Rings universe, Ishmael Cruz Cordova absolutely wants more diverse representation in the Rings of Power. Now, I have a slight problem with the very first line there. He says he's made history as the first person of color to portray an elf. Let me ask you guys something, okay? And if anybody knows the answers to these, please put it in the comment section. Does anyone know the first black builder of a vacuum cleaner, the first black builder of a table lamp, the first black builder of a sneaker, shoelaces, nail polish, the first black curtain stitcher or whatever? Does anybody remember these things? I would dare say, using his logic, these people also made history as the first black creator of anything, or the first black participant in anything. You would say they made history. See, I'm tired of this overinflated sense of I was the first, so I'm making history. I did this. I'm the one who made it all possible. Look, the history was made when people back in the day challenged the concept of segregation. They fought for it. Some of them gave their lives for it. The mere fact that they were successful in that means that you, Ishmael, and everybody else who came after that are beneficiaries of that. You might say they are the recipients of black privilege because they're the ones who benefited from the hard work and the sacrifice of those who came before. Because of what they did, you have the opportunity to do this. But what we're talking about is just taking a job, okay? You took a job. If it wasn't you, it would have been somebody else. Sooner or later, it would have happened. The only question is it true to the story where you're at? Is it an honest portrayal and occupation of what you're doing? That's the only thing. And once you get that job, it is a question of how well you perform that job. It's not just enough that you got the job. So history, if you're going to make history, would be made in how you go about doing your job, okay? The impact that you made doing that job. The mere fact that you're there doesn't necessarily make the history when that opportunity was given to you by those who came before. Those are the ones who broke down the barriers. Those are the ones who gave you the opportunity. So that is an overinflated idea of what history making truly is. To me, moving on, he said, I think this is the beginning, Cordova told Variety. I think we would be remiss not to do that, to stop there. Now, of course, this is ironic to somebody like me because he's talking about now that he got the ball rolling, it wouldn't be right to stop, to just let it go. And what have I been doing for the last few weeks? Hell, for the last couple of years, guys. I've been talking about how it's wrong to lay down the character of T'Challa, who is actually a historical character that was conceived of by white Jews, might I add. Okay, so Chadwick Boseman, all due respect to him, did not make the history of Black Panther. He had a job as an actor. He did it exceptionally well, but he had a job nonetheless. The history part comes with the character of Black Panther, who is indeed the first black superhero that Marvel ever created. Okay, that's where the history is. So you killed the history because this man could not perform his job tragically because he died. Okay, so what I'm trying to bring to you guys, like I'm trying to give some clarity to this, that it's not enough just to be seen. And I kind of get the feeling that that's where a lot of black people are losing the meaning in all of this. Because to us, we just want to be seen. We always want to be seen. And somehow we think there's more significance to that than there really is. Now, of course, there is benefits to being seen. Of course, you know, being visible and all that stuff. It is very important to put forth that image. But as you go forward, I would think that the issue would end up being ownership and inspiring others to create, to own something. You know, this is the reason why I get the backlash that I do for criticizing Black Panther, for criticizing The Woman King, you know, for criticizing just about everything that you can name that comes out of Hollywood, because they put some black actors in it. They put some black faces on it to be seen, and black people take that as being somehow an indication of something that is in fact black created, black owned, black significant, because some black people got a job to do. So you get Viola Davis talking about, you have to see this movie, otherwise you're pretty much a traitor. You know, no one's ever going to see these types of movies again that are black female led, even though the story was in fact written by white women and directed by a biracial woman who was raised by white people. Okay, so black people, they claim these things for themselves without really owning it and definitely not creating it. Now, the point of this video is for Ishmael, and let me just read a little bit more of what he said here too. All right, the article says, the Rings of Power star faced backlash for his casting as elven warrior Arondir in Amazon's epic fantasy series. He says, I was viciously and consistently attacked with the most violent, painful racism. How violent could it have been? It's online. Somebody once told me that my mother should have aborted me. Okay? They actually told me that because they disagreed with something that I said. My mother, my sweet mother that I love more than anything in the world, should have aborted me, she said, because you disagreed with me. Well, she didn't. And I am grateful for that. I'm still here. I guess life really does begin at conception. So he says, you wake up bombarded by violence online where people are telling you that you shouldn't exist, that your skin color has ruined their favorite childhood books. Oh, when somebody was mean to me online. What the fuck, dude? People are meaning to all of us. You know what I mean? I talked about some of my childhood trauma. I recently had somebody come in my comment section and say, I think you're just looking for sympathy, even though I've said many times it's not about me. The example of myself that I'm using is for all the little kids who are still going through this, who are actually trying to create something, who are being discouraged within their own homes. That's the point. And now we get to the point of this video where you have so many performers, and they don't have to necessarily all be actors. It could be sports stars and all that stuff, also black sports stars, and they all want to like come out and trumpet all of this. We made history. We need more representation. We want to be seen more. I want to see somebody who looks like me. In 2022, about to be 2023, when are we going to start giving our kids a message of you can create? You can own. It can be yours. The sky is the limit. Don't let anything stop you. No, it's just enough for them to be seen. Now, surely there is no shame in having a job. I have a job. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you want your kids to do better is what I'm saying. So why not put it into their minds that they can own something? All right, now that you've seen us on screen, now that you've seen how we can be diverse and how we can be productive, now that these people have made all of the money that they've made, why now, after over 100 years of Hollywood and black actors and black sports stars and everything like that, where are all the scholarship funds? Where are all the talent contests? Where is all of the reach back and give to the community? At the end of the first Black Panther, we saw T'Challa opening up some type of a rec center or a private school or whatever he was doing. Did they follow up on that in this one? You know what? It's not that hard to figure out what the community needs, how the community grows, and how you create generational wealth. But do you hear these people talking about that? No. Essentially what they're talking about is how to do a job for other people to benefit from. Okay, Ishmael, let's say this. So you get more representation in the works of Tolkien. I've heard people say, oh, Tolkien was a racist. Okay. Let's assume, okay, for the sake of argument, though nobody can prove that, let's say for the sake of argument, Tolkien is a racist. Your answer to that is to put more people like you, who look like you, in his story. Okay, so the estate of Tolkien now gets to prosper. It gets to make a bunch of money because you put your black ass on the screen for everybody to see. Everybody cheers for it, makes them feel good, all types of warm fuzzies and everything. But if indeed Tolkien is racist and his estate is racist, well, what did you do? What did you accomplish by helping that to be prosperous just because you put your face on it? If you didn't enable other people to create something that can create generational wealth for them or wealth for the community, you know? So who are you really serving when you do that? Viola Davis, who are you really serving when you got up and said that, you know, you got to see this, it's your duty to see this, even though it's a big budget Hollywood film. Okay, it's a big budget Hollywood film. I just want to keep saying Halloween for some reason. I don't know. 8 more days to Halloween. But anyway, and it's the same thing with Black Panther. Because you got a bunch of black faces in it, you think somehow it belongs to you and it represents you. And you're proud just because you're being seen and you see people who look like you. But once again, it's a big budget Hollywood film. Nailed it! So, Woman King, you know, that, you know, all types of things. Like I said, that's all it really is. So, I consider people like Ishmael, Viola Davis, and a host of others to be sellouts. That's how you can tell a sellout. That's how you can spot a sellout. If they're giving you a message where just being seen is the end game, that's the goal of it all, then, and you're making somebody else a bunch of money, then, especially when you're appealing to somebody's sense of blackness, you know, somebody's sense of duty. If you don't vote for me, you're not black, but you're not willing to give anything to anyone. You know, that's what I'm talking about, guys. But that's what you get, you know, from people like this. It's empty. And you already heard Ishmael, I think a couple of months ago, back in September, I did a video where he was saying that his main goal was just to be a disruptor. Let me remind you of his words. All right, I did this video. You might want to go back and see it. But this man said, I took this role specifically. I'm a fan. Yeah, right. They all say that. And for a lot of reasons. One of them was I knew this was going to happen. Cruz Cordova told Deadline of the racist backlash he's received. I even got some rejections for the role, but I still kept going for it because I knew there was going to be a disruption. In my career, my mission has been to occupy these spaces and put myself on the front lines. So I have no problem doing that. I did expect this. Okay, so he knew what he was doing. He knew he was being a disruptor. He's just somebody who likes fucking up what other people do. He doesn't want to create his own. He doesn't want to enable other people to create their own. He just wants to fuck up what's there. Kind of like all of these demonstrators out here who are now destroying priceless works of art. They're throwing paint on it. They're slashing all of these works of art just to prove their little point. They're not creating anything, but they're throwing these little fucking tantrums and they're destroying what other people create. These people are enemies to culture. They're enemies to tradition. They're enemies to creativity. All they exist to do is to destroy because they can't build. And that is how you tell a sellout. All right, guys, so you can get in the comment section. I just wanted to expose this dude. I wanted to put it out there because people like this are really fucking with me these days. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of getting the crumbs that people are putting down to us. Hollywood is not serving anyone, and it's definitely not serving black people. All right, so these people I do consider to be sellouts. You guys can get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe. And I thank you guys for listening. I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.